Hello there, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, and welcome back to the Talos Principle. And where we had previously left off, we had completed World A4, and today we will be tackling World A5. We also unlocked another thing that was on a pedestal over here to the right, which is the hexahedron. It is not a box, it is a hexahedron, and we will call it that from now on. Even though it is a slightly longer name, it is still a hexahedron at heart, and we must respect that. Also, it's another terminal with a couple more files which you could probably read if you so desire. And we're just gonna take a very quick glance at them actually. This one's slightly longer too. A very nice thunderstorm effect going on in the background. One unique thing about this particular world is the weather actually does change over time, and I think this is the only place in the entire game where this is actually exercised, where after enough time passes then it actually gets a bit brighter for a while before, like, it starts to storm again. That's a really neat feature. I do like that effect. Also, another time capsule.
I was in school when I first read about the Talos Principle. I think it disturbed me at the time, made me hyper-aware of my body as a physical object, the material reality of the brain, ideas that made me uncomfortable at first, but I think in the long run, it helped me understand how frail human beings are, and how precious. It's not a comforting way of thinking about the world, but I'd rather face the truth than lie to myself.
I would rather see a face on this statue, but unfortunately it was never meant to be. All of the statues in this game were decapitated for some reason, and, well, I'm pretty sure that's how they were when the Crow team actually took pictures of them. Like, interesting little factoid, if you watch, like, the developer video on the Talos Principle, they went on, like, a photo shooting spree on some of their world practice buildings, and, well, a lot of these textures you see are from, like, pictures they took in the real world of, like, ancient Rome artifacts, I guess. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because those do look kind of like Roman statues. It's pretty neat, but the statues are decapitated for some reason. And there is another QR code. So this is where the handiness of the hexahedron is introduced. And this is a buzzer. If you run into the buzzer, you get a nasty shock. It doesn't kill you immediately, but if you touch it enough times, then you will die, and then you'll just have to start back from wherever the game spawns you in the last checkpoint. But you can block these things with boxes, and it's pretty important because buzzers are just obstacles only. They just serve to impede your progress. So we block it with the hexahedron, and then we use the laser to open the door. And this is a very slow opening door, by the way. You will be seeing a bunch of those later on. Just like the fact that there are a lot of connector puzzles in this game, additionally, there are a lot of slow connectors, which just take a million years to actually open the door which you're trying to connect. And a lot of the times, obstacles will be blocking you from actually opening the door, and it can get really, really nasty in some later puzzles. But let's not fret about that for now. We worry too much about the future. Let's just focus on the present. The present being that the thunderstorm has cleared, and this looks so much nicer. And it makes solving puzzles slightly less distracting. And also, you know you must not cross the streams. With this knowledge in mind, we're going to open this door, pick up the hedron, place it again, because I don't really... Well, maybe I could just move it a little bit to the right, if not, you know, dropping the item and then crossing the streams once again. The puzzle specifically told me not to do that, and I've already failed at it. That's a very promising sign. This introduces the handiness of placing these, reflectors onto the hexahedrons, because they work sort of like portable ledges, where you don't have to worry about the streams accidentally crossing and thus making absolutely no progress whatsoever, just being kind of an idiot in that case, really. Going over the fence. There are also a couple of short fences in this game, so I could probably just do this, you know, jump over it just like that. I cannot jump back over the fence and take the box with me from this side, but we are not trapped here, thankfully. That just shows you the handiness of being able to use the hedron to travel over to other places, which you could probably not access otherwise. Also, we take the hedron, And we connect the laser over here. Again, very basic puzzles, sort of like the last one, so you could probably complete this world in pretty much a record time. Well, I don't know, that might not exactly be accurate. There are at least one or two puzzles that do take a little bit of extra time to solve, if only because of the way they're set up. Such as Friendly Crossfire. You have one jammer and one Hedron to work with. There are 3 minigun turrets, a bomb, and a second bomb that's actually behind that gate over there. A little bit difficult to see, but what you have to do is you have to let that bomb suicide into the nearest minigun turret of that door. And once that happens, then you need to jam this one, because if that one is not jammed or destroyed, for instance, then you'll get shot into a million pieces by it. And then after jamming this minigun turret, we're going to unjam it and cause that bomb to explode that one. And thus, we are left with a single minigun turret, which can easily be jammed, and the button can be pressed with the Hedron. And there's also a sigil. There's a QR code here. I know it looks like there are a lot of sigils on this QR code. It's an easy mistake to make, but it's not a sigil, it's a QR code. Trust me on this one. I know my technical terms, I just tend to mix them up quite frequently. And there's actually also a star right here as well. It's a very easy one to get. You just jam that door where the first mine emerged from. And hey, look at that, it's a star. Very simple star. There are 2 stars in this world, so that's only one of them out of the way. And the second one is actually inside the final puzzle of this area, so you don't have to worry about trying to locate any stars out here, for instance, in the main hub, between all of these different little puzzle rooms. But, this star does involve a little bit of extra steps in it, and you will see what that is after we do this puzzle, yes. I have formulated the strategy, and the strategy is to do this puzzle first, and even though they call them boxes, I refuse to call them boxes at any point in time unless I slip up on my words by mistake. These are hexahedrons. In fact, there's a whole conversation dedicated to this. What's a hexahedron? A powerful device fashioned by the designer. A cube. The edges are beveled, that makes it a decahedron. You forgot the indents. With the indents, it's like a super polyhedron. But the convex hole is a decahedron. Topic closed. Wrong. That's probably one of my favorite conversations in the game. Right, this one's a lot of fun, and don't be surprised if I die right here. There are these 2 mines. Now, you kinda have to mess up their pattern a little bit, so that way you can sort of cross between them over time. And the thing about this is you have to take the box with you as well, which can be... You have to take the hexahedron with you. This is going to be difficult to remember over time. You have to take the hedron with you to complete this puzzle, unfortunately. And, well, you just have to be really, really cautious. If you fail to escape from these mines, if they manage to just get too close to you, then you're gonna blow up and you have to start from the beginning. But there's also a couple of codes over here which can be scanned. This one records the termination, and this is a rip in peace message. Very nice. So yeah, I guess while we're waiting here, how about them local sports teams, eh? Them local sports beams have been sports beams. Favorite sports beam is the one beam that allows you to do those easy chin-ups. Very, very nice. Very good for exercise. My favorite sports drink is definitely Gatorade. And there are a couple more QR codes which you can read right here. There's the star. We'll pick that up in just one moment. And, let's read this one out loud. I do not understand why the designer chose to put such flaws into the world, that it appears almost as if it were damaged, but I must believe that there is a purpose here I cannot see. And it is written by Faith. That's very poetic, isn't it? I do enjoy reading the QR codes, but just not when I'm doing a playthrough like this, because it would just kind of add a lot more unnecessary speaking on my part, and, well, I don't think anyone likes to hear my voice for an extremely long amount of time, so might as well try to keep things short and sweet, right? So, this is where we need to involve the use of using one puzzle solution to get the star in a different puzzle altogether. another puzzle thing. That connector all the way over there connects to here, to this panel, and you place this connector down. It's another very slow opening door, by the way, in case you couldn't tell, and you get the star. Booyah! That is the end of this world. And before we go, there is one more thing we must do on the terminal over here. And we've received a reply to our user support ticket. Let us display the reply. Our topic was ARG, but they did not recognize our query, which is kind of unfortunate. We could try emailing the network administrator if we were administrators ourselves, so that's not gonna work. Let's create a new administrator account instead. And it's gonna fail at trying to prove that we are indeed human, but yeah, let's undertake the certification process once again. Some other time, because, well, the computer just decided it needs to load up a new list of questions to see if we are indeed a robot or a human. Trust me, we're a human. I am a robot. I have come to take American jobs. And that should be the end of the world, actually. Now, Sam doesn't actually have anything to say at the end of this, which is kind of sad, because I like listening to his voice every time I do one of these sessions. Either way, we have completed World A5, and of course next time we play we will do World A6, which has 4 more sigils, 1 star sigil, and then World 7, which has 5 more sigils and a single star. And then there might be a few more things I can show off in this area before we move on to the next one. Until then, thank you guys very much for watching, have a great day or evening, and I guess I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.